Now, condenser microphones are more tailored to studio because of the clarity you get, but still, some people use it on stage. A KSM9 is an example of this. So this looks exactly like a lot of dynamic microphones, but this is a condenser microphone. Now, the operation principle has similarities and differences. The similarities is in converting the acoustical energy into mechanical energy. So still we have a diaphragm that moves. The main difference is that the word condenser means a capacitor. Simply, a capacitor is two conductors isolated between each other with a certain distance. The closer the distance, the higher the capacitance. The lower the distance, the lower the capacitance. The way the condenser mic works is that diaphragm is a conductive diaphragm. Usually they use gold as a plating material, so it's gold plated, and it's behind a permanently charged, or it could be a temporary charged. Now, how can I temporarily charge a conductor? I need to apply an external power, correct? And this is what we call it phantom power in the mixers. So all condenser microphones require phantom power. The changes between that diaphragm, which is a conductive diaphragm, and the charged plate changes the capacitance. And the change of the capacitance passes the signal, creates a signal flow, which requires another circuit then to amplify, because that is very minute. So this is the part where we talk about the external power for two things: to charge the plate, the back plate, and also for the other electronics, which is called the preamp inside the microphone. So any condenser microphone has a preamp built into the bottle or in the handle of it. And that is to amplify the signal out of that diaphragm to be noticeable. So a lot of the users will always find the condenser microphone to have a hotter output or a higher output. Now, anything that has a smaller diaphragm, smaller than 1 inch, is usually having a very natural sound. That means it's perfect for instruments. So bigger diaphragms has more sensitivity to low frequencies. Smaller diaphragms is less sensitive to low frequencies. But that means it becomes more natural in that matter as well. Microphones that looks like this, or they usually refer to them as pencil microphones, they're perfect for instruments. They use them in many cases as overheads for cymbals. They use them for acoustic guitars. They use them for harps. They use them for pianos, percussions. Now, anything larger than 1 inch will have a warmer sound. So then it works good for vocals. If you want to make the vocals sound so present and so full, then a side address microphone like this one with a larger diaphragm sounds warmer. Now, condenser microphones respond more quicker than dynamic microphones. So one has a diaphragm with something attached to it, and the other one has a diaphragm with no weight attached to it, right? So that means one is actually lighter than the other. So that means one is actually going to move faster than the other one, which is quicker. So the condenser microphones actually tends to have more response to fast attack instruments, percussions, cymbals, acoustic guitars, toys on stage, shakers. But on a stage, when you have a lot of other instruments, how much you want the microphone to be able to pick up. Then you start to be more conscious on where am I going to use my condenser microphones or where am I not going to use that. Usually in smaller stages, I'd strongly avoid condenser microphones, and I'd tend to start going for more dynamic microphones for two reasons. It's harder to drive them. You cannot actually saturate them. And the other thing is they are less sensitive. And in venues where the acoustics are not amazing, then you start getting the known issue, which is called feedback. So they are better suited for instrument that has a very sharp attack and extended high frequency response, such as cymbals, as we mentioned before. This is a quick comparison in the looks. So you can see that the condenser microphone is slimmer, smaller, has a lower mass design. It's a high mass design on the dynamic microphone.